like to start off my presentation by thanking Mr. Feiner for inviting me to speak tonight. I'm really appreciative of this, and I'm really grateful. In the very, very long 15 whole years of my life, I have learned many valuable lessons, and the one that stood out most to me is the power of reaching out. It's the power of voice and of communication and of taking a leap of faith. In December of 2021, I made the decision to start a fundraiser for Georgia. I'm a Georgian American and the countries near Georgia, so the bordering countries. And I've had to grow from that and learn how to reach out to public libraries and organizations like chess organizations, local chess organizations, as well as orphanages in Georgia and Ukraine. And it's been a very valuable experience to me. Can I go to the next slide, please? No. So some things about me is that I'm a sophomore in high school. I was born and raised on Hartsdale Avenue, and I'm a proud graduate of Leo F. Jackson in Highview, and I now attend Irvington High School. My parents are both Georgian American, and my mother is actually a refugee from Sukhumi, which is now taken over and was taken over by Russians at the time, so she had to flee to the capital of Georgia, Tbilisi. So the war in Ukraine is kind of very personal to my family as well, because we felt the pain of invasion. Some of my interests is I'm a chess player as well as a teacher, and I fence and I like to write. And I started a fundraising project in December 2021 called Give the Youth of Sakartvelo Time. Sakartvelo is the name of the country Georgians call themselves. So yes, could I have the next slide, please? So this is my website, and what really got me inspired to start this fundraising mission is that I have the privilege of going to Georgia every single summer. And my friends there are very different than my friends here. As my friends here, they talk about, going to college and eventually going, maybe even law school or medical school, and they have very, very big dreams and aspirations, whereas my friends in Georgia are dealing with trying to survive in poverty and getting out of, drinking problems and smoking problems from even the age of 12. And they're very hopeless. I think it's a common theme in many Eastern European countries where, because of the economy and the culture and post-USSR kind of trauma to the country, that it's kind of been impacting the youth even today. And so I was inspired to try to use my position as loving Georgia and being part of that culture, but also having an outside perspective and the opportunity in America to have my voice be heard and kind of give hope back to the people I love so much in Georgia. Next slide, please. So last year I raised $2,000, and I was able to donate it to 2 orphanages in Georgia, one with sheltered disabled children, and we bought them things like clothing, winter clothing, as well as kitchen appliances, like they didn't have a stove, and toys for the kids. And it was such an amazing experience to see the kids' eyes light up and make them feel like they're worthy of something, that even thousands of miles away, people care about them and are willing to put money down to see them become something and know their worth. So it was just an amazing opportunity, and I hope to continue to do more projects. And recently, next slide, please. I reached out to my Irvington library, and I was able to print flyers and give them to people around town and raise 430 pounds of clothing and blankets and food to be able to send to an orphanage that shelters women and children called the City of Goodness in Ukraine. And it's just been an amazing experience knowing how supportive my town has been and how much I've been able to do for these kids. And when I showed my mother, who is a refugee, about these packages, she had tears in her eyes because she was like, what I would have given to have somebody send this to me when I was in Georgia and I had nothing, and just I would have had so much hope for the future and that I was capable of something and that I mattered. So that's really the whole entire point of this. Next slide, please. So looking forward, I hope to run a drive again for Turkish and Syrian refugees post-earthquake to kind of help them get back on their feet after losing their homes and losing their families. It's been very devastating. And this summer, I hope to raise $2,000 to provide medical care of a doctor and a dentist to an orphanage in Georgia where kids don't have access to either of those things and are in very sickly conditions. And finally, I hope to continue a relationship with Helping Ukraine and with Mr. Feiner and Ms. Sophia Schur from the Ukrainian church in Yonkers, New York. So, yes. Next slide, please. So once again, my name is Sophie Zergaladze, and while I've learned so much, it's been an incredible experience reaching out and learning how to communicate with orphanages and different people in my community. It's been just as much as a pleasure of talking to you all tonight, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're really an inspiration for what you're doing, and we need more people in the world like you who really care and are making a big difference. And it's really nice to live in a town with people like you. So thank you.
Well, Sophie, thank you for all your efforts.
Right.
You've brought tears to my eyes. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. So we'll continue to help you publicize your efforts and reaching out to different organizations and individuals who could help. So thank you. Great. We also have